Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video here at Tablemon. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're going to be playing with more expanded today, featuring TSAREENA V. Now this Pokemon has not seen any mention, any use at all in standard. In expanded it's actually quite good because with the Queen's Orders attack doing 20 damage, you may discard any number of your bench Pokemon, and this attack does 40 more damage for each bench Pokemon you discarded in this way. Now, we do have Pokemon such as Execute with its propagation ability, where if it's in their discard pile, you can put this back into your hand. And we also have GIRATINA with the Distortion Door ability, where if this Pokemon is in the discard pile, you may put it onto your bench, and if you do, you put 1 damage counter on 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So every single turn we have these 5 Pokemon that we can continually get back from the discard pile, no problem, in order to make sure that we are doing at least 200 damage, right? 5 times 40 is 200. And then we also have a myriad of other Pokemon that we can discard. We can play down Dedenne and Crobat and then get rid of them so that they are not liabilities for our opponent. Now, this version of the Japanese deck that did win a tournament featured a 1-1 Jolteon VMAX line as well, with the Max Thunder Rumble attack doing 100 damage and 100 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon that has any damage counters on it. Of course, with the GIRATINA Distortion Door ability continually placing damage counters, it will be pretty straightforward in that way to get some damage going. So could be a sneaky way to get a double price cards situation or more at any given point. Now we have Sudowoodo to limit an opponent's bench with the Roadblock ability. We have Lele, Dedenne and Crobat for extra draw support. We have Memories of Dunmew, which can copy an attack of a basic Pokemon in play, essentially Serena's. And we also have Marshadow GX, which can copy an attack from a basic Pokemon in your discard pile. So we have 3 typings in order to cover different weaknesses as well and bypass possible resistances. Then we have Dragonite DX, which when benching it, you may put 2 basic Pokemon from your discard pile back into your hand, so allowing you to reutilize the Dedenne or Crobat or Lele or whatever you need. And also Absol with the Cursed Eyes ability. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to the bench, you may move up to 3 damage. No, sorry, not up to. You may move exactly 3 damage counters from your opponent's Pokemon to another, making the best use possible out of the Distortion Door damage counters. Now, since we do need these Pokemon in the discard pile, we're featuring 4 Bile Compressor, and because of that, we are free to play like 1 of each supporter card, because we can get them in the discard pile and then reutilize them with the Versus Seeker. I'm surprised there's only 1 Versus Seeker actually. Sorry, not 1. There's only 3 instead of 4, missing 1 because of the supporter lineup, but this is a deck that ended up doing well. Then we have other options with the Computer Surge, the Field Blower, the Escape Rope, and consistency with Ultra Ball and Quick Ball, along with Rescue Stretcher to make sure that we always have an attack going. Finally, Tapu Koko's Dance of the Ancients allows us to power up multiple TSAREENA, which will be very important because with a 2 energy cost, we don't want to dedicate 2 turns to power it up. That's way too slow for expanded, but with the Lightning and the Coco and even Right Hand, we actually can power up in a single turn. Flowstone, because we do have a lot of bad starters, which will probably need to retreat into this arena, and then Muscle Band for that little bit of extra damage. Let's jump into the ladder, see how we do. If you're planning on buying any cards from TCG Player, make sure you use our affiliate link right here in the description of our video to help support the channel. It's the best way to do it and it's free. Looking for PTGO codes? Poton Store has all the latest sets and promos, instantly delivered to your email. You can use Tablemon code when checking out for 5% off. Card Market is Europe's largest online marketplace for Pokemon cards. Whether you're looking for sealed product or singles, vintage or the latest sets, just follow the link in the description to find what you need. This video is sponsored by the Pokemon TCG deck building website PokemonCard.io. Alright, so unfortunately we are going second. Yeah, as my opponent did choose to go. They won the coin flip and chose to go second. As I mentioned in my previous videos, it is potentially important to go to go second in expanded, because the attacks are so broken, you can just immediately use them. Decent-ish start. I do kind of like attaching energy to the Mew, because I can copy this arena with that, and then I can retreat into the Jolteon or even retreat into the Execute, forcing my opponent to have a boss if they want to do anything of significance here. And the Execute also lets me use this Quick Walls essentially for free. I did price 2 Giratinas, which is not very ideal, of course. It does limit our damage output quite a bit. I also priced the Coco Prism Star, so that energy attachment just became way more important than you would imagine. And I think for now I'm gonna use Propagation. So what I'm a little worried is if I retreat into something that doesn't have free retreat, that means I would need to rely on the Floatstone next turn, which I do have the computer search, so maybe it's not that bad. You have to need that. And I do have the Colress too, so you know what? We're gonna bring back the Execute and then retreat into that, because out of all the Pokemon that we wouldn't mind losing, that would be the one, right? Alright, now I do foresee Jolteon being potentially useful if I end up stacking up a lot of damage onto Substrika or something, where I can go like Guzma double KO or something of the sort. We'll see. We shall see. Oh, but my opponent has now lost the game. Okay. So all we need to do is computer search away these, attack, grab a Floatstone, and that's the game, unfortunately. Attach, I'll do this, I'll retreat, and then I will use Queen's Orders, discarding everything and doing a buttload of damage, which means we win the game. All right, on to the next game. All right, now for some reason my opponent chose to go second this time around. We do start with a Jolteon with free retreat, and as long as we didn't price the Coco, I feel like we have a decent chance. Oh, that's why. I guess I should have sniffed that. That's why they were choosing to go first. This is a turn 1 win deck. So if I had benched the Giratina, the game would have been over. Unfortunately, I did not. So we're just gonna watch my opponent play out their hand, see what happens. Just end up losing here on turn 1. We might not. We shall see. Ooh, Radiant Sneasler. Interesting. That's 2 more damage counters on your opponent's poisoned Pokemon. So a more efficient Viper, if you will. Very nice. Yeah, very nice. I do fully expect to end up losing to my opponent right here. Beauty. You get to play that supporter. There's a stadium. Yeah, we're definitely out of this. Ooh, interesting. Discarding the Zigzagoon. Not getting that extra damage counter going. Recycle. Choosing the Scoop of Net over a plus power thing. Oh, there's a Viper as well. This is pretty good. This is actually pretty cool to see. It's gonna end unknown. I fully expect to end up losing here. 100%. If I had benched the Giratina, my opponent probably would have immediately conceded. I should have sniffed this. Like, I should have thought about, well, why is my opponent choosing to go first? There's 2 options. Either they don't, they're newer players who are not aware of how good it is to go second in Expanded, or they're a turn 1 win deck. So they're choosing to go first, and you have the option to bench an extra Pokemon. Go ahead and take that risk. Yeah, because it's better to have a useless Giratina you can discard later on in the match instead of having this awkward situation where my opponent will very likely knock me out. Very likely will end up knocking me out here. 7 damage counters already. I think the big card they're missing is energy. There's the den name. So they have a lot of extra cards. Cycle. They change for 6. They have now exhausted Crobat and the Dene. There's the energy. There's another plus power. Another plus power. Another plus power. I'm pretty sure that's enough. Right? They've played all 4 plus powers. And they're doing 30, 60, 80. That's 110. That's exactly knockouts, I believe. Pretty sure that is KO. I'll let them finish, yeah, so we can see they basically decked themselves out. They have 3 cards left. They have another known, 2 cards left. Rescue Carrier for 2 knowns. That means they will draw their whole deck. And I mean, they already have knockout, but we're just letting them finish, yeah, so we can see the whole other side. You have a good deck. They even got the Hypnotoxic Laser for 4 damage counters into 120, so they didn't even need the poison damage. If I just benched the Giratina, the game would have been immediately over. They can't knock out 2 Pokemon like that, but oh well, on to the next one. Alright, so let's see if we can get to play more than 1 turn. My opponent did let me go first this time around, so we know it's not a turn 1 win deck. My opponent, when the conflict chose to go first, I would have benched both of these Giratinas to prevent from what just happened from happening again. Okay, so we do have a solid start. I don't see why I wouldn't just outright do this. Ooh, the execute is priced, which will make our draws less ideal, or discards rather, less ideal. I do want to attach this lightning. I do want to ultra away the Giratina and the muscle band for this arena. I think I'm gonna discard these 3, and then I'll go ahead and ultra away. Kind of don't want to discard the N. I don't know what I'm up against, right? Could be Shadow Rider. Like, part of me wants to keep both the N and the VS Seeker. I guess discarding the N is okay in case I get End or Marnie into a VS Seeker. I already have that out. We'll see. 1 card in hand. Hopefully, I don't get item locked. I'm thinking of bringing out another Giratina just in case there's an escape rope play. It's a waste of the ability, yes, but it's also insurance that my TSAREENA doesn't go down to a random escape rope play with something powered up. So I feel like it's a little bit worth it to do that. With a Leyline play for my opponent, I do think that a Guzma play becomes less likely, right? Ooh, but we see Cynthia out of all the supporters. That is very odd. Like, there's so many better supporters than Cynthia. Although if that were a Colress, maybe they would not be as happy about this. Alright, so it's some sort of Garbodor deck. Oh, it's actually Ultra Necrozma. That is not ideal. Wow. Okay. Alright, so they get the turn on KO. They're also stopping my basic Pokemon abilities. So I need a really good end here. Can't use Crobat to draw because of the Silent Lab. So I need a Grass here. Which I did not get, but I did get the Field Blower into the Den AGX, so that's good. I really do need to get a KO here. So I'm gonna bench the Jolteon. You never know when Jolteon VMAX could be useful. I'm gonna bench the other TSAREENA, and I will go ahead and get a change. So we're looking for a Grass. We did not, in fact, get the Grass. Okay, so I will be using Crobat, guaranteed. Just trying to think what's the best approach here. I need to thin, right, as much as I can. Pseudo Woodle will not be useful. I don't foresee Dragonite being super useful. Most of my opponent's Pokemon will have low HP, but you never know. Don't think the Colress. Well, Colress could be useful. I mean, okay, I'll get rid of another Lightning. I did prize a Coco as well, so that's another problem, especially because of energy removal that my opponent does have. Fine, I'll get rid of the Guzma. And then we're gonna go ahead and Owl Compressor again. Definitely discarding the Marshadow. I generally think it's these three. Well, the thing is, if there's a Carver in play, I'm not going to be able to get back Giratinas over and over, right? Alright, so how about one Ultra Ball? How about two Ultra Balls, actually? Because what other Pokemon will I need? And what other discard options will I need? I do want to maximize this Crobat draw. So I'm not happy about this, but it is what it is. I really want the grass in order to be able to keep up. Benching the Absol doesn't really make a difference. And I barely, barely got there. Okay, so I'll have the Mew, I'll have... I should not have benched the Mew. That was silly. Benching that Mew was very, very silly. Alright, Queen's Orders. I'm doing base 40. I only need to discard two Pokemon. Can discard you and can discard you, which are the two Pokemon that are liable to be KO'd by the Ultra Necrozma. Like I said, the biggest issue is that I am down my Field Blower, which means if they establish the Garbotoxin Garbodor, I will be in a little bit of trouble. Although I could hunt it down. They could hunt it down. Okay. So they do end up taking away my stadium. Just means I discard the Crobat. Not a big deal. Rescue Stretcher for the Ultra Necrozma, which is pretty good for them. There we see a Via Seeker as well for Cynthia once again. So my bunch is not not discarding resources with high research or Juniper or Sycamore. Not disrupting as much with N because you are a pretty fast deck, if you will, in terms of the pressure you apply. And then yeah, seems fine. Okay. Since my Coco is prized, I cannot use Jolt and VMAX to win this turn, unfortunately. So that's their second Silent Lab versus my second Skyfield. Realistically, though, I don't need to Skyfield, but I think I should. I will, because that might stop them from attacking. We know their hand isn't particularly great, right? And just getting some damage counters is never a bad thing. And that way I can keep like all the other resources. I only need to discard one Pokemon. I probably would have discarded the Absol anyways, but it's a better use of my resources this way, I believe. one is enough. Nope, they removed my muscle band, right? Yes, they removed my muscle band. I was about to misplay right there. I thought with one I would have been doing 80, but in fact I needed both. Okay, so we see teammates. That means we're going to see another Silent Lab and a double Dragon Energy. So the question becomes, okay, they do have the backup Dragon now. Sure, I'll discard the Tina. And we do see the luster of a downfall. So my biggest concern right now is powering up the next TSAREENA. I am down one via Seeker already, so I only have one more left. But I just need to, I definitely need to attack again this turn. I have 4 grass energies left in my deck. I also have a computer search, so technically 5 outs. I am tempted to play the rescue stretcher, even though it doesn't, or it does decrease the chances of me attacking, if you will. Only, oh, I can't, I have to put, I thought every card now was ruled to be up to. Oh well. So we'll put back the useful, such as this one, because the Lele gets me the right hand potentially. All right, so I did make it harder for me to find that grass now, so I did have a good amount of outs as well. Okay, because there's no threat of Garbo Toxin next turn, I'm actually not going to counter the stadium, because if they can attack me next turn, that is fine, right? Right now I am ahead. If I get Coco, I really want to use that ability, and there we go. Okay, so if I play the Skyfield and then my opponent counters again with a Silent Lab, I would be in a situation where I would need to find my last stadium or Raihan, neither of which I have in my hand, in order to attack again. Yeah, but now I do not need to, because I kept the Skyfield. All right, special charge, bring back the energies. As long as I'm able to attack continually every single turn from now on, I should be able to win, unless they end up playing a choice build, which would KO this arena in one hit. Now, I do also have the opportunity to potentially outright win this turn, and I actually think I can win this turn. If I had not promoted. Oh, I needed to attack with Jolteon. Well, okay, I think I can still do it though. With a Guzma. I think I can still do it. I need to Guzma, I need to Detene. I basically need to draw my whole deck. I really should not have promoted the Jolteon though. Okay, I'm pretty sure I can win with Jolteon here. Let me just think this through. The Stretcher will get me extra cards. Guzma. So what I can do is I can... Oh wait, does Raihan do it too? No. I mean, the Stretcher... No, I need to power up the Jolteon on the bench. So I'll grab the Raihan. Yeah, and I have Computer Search as well as Jolteon, so I'm fairly certain I have the win here. Let me just think this through. I retreat the Jolteon into whatever. Power up. That's not Coco. I use Coco, power up the Jolteon. Use Giratina once, put 1 damage counter here. Play Via Seeker Guzma. Bring up the Jolteon that's powered up. Use another Giratina, put another damage counter. And then I stretch her into the Dene. And I need both Computer Search and Jolteon VMAX to not be the bottom 2 cards. To not be within the bottom 3 cards of my deck. Right? I think that's how I can do this. So let's do it. I'm gonna go Dance of the Ancients, power up. Technically I don't need to do this, right? But I think it's fine to do it this way. So I will, if I not promote the Jolteon, it would have been much easier and probably I could have guaranteed it, but already made that mistake. So we're just gonna commit. All right, use the ability first though. Use Giratina, Distortion Door. Then we will go Guzma, bring up the Jolteon. Did it change? And I did in fact whiff. Both the Computer Search and the Jolteon VMAX are in the bottom 2 cards of my deck. Okay. Geez. Not all hope is lost, but that was definitely not ideal. If I had not promoted the Jolteon, I would have been able to play Draw Supporter instead and gotten back the Absol with the Stretcher. And now they've just played the card that stops me from winning. Teammates, okay. Oh boy. Okay, so I need to top deck the Jolteon VMAX now. Okay, the N potentially helps me in a way. Like now decking out is not the biggest worry. There's the good old Jolteon. Okay. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. All right. Teammates, okay. They'll discard my lightning energy once they attack. So I cannot take 2 prizes this turn. I mean, with the Fighting Fury belt, now it's definitely impossible. So it comes down to this. What a game. I can make it so that they cannot win by discarding all of these friends. And then I am holding the Skyfield, so I always have access to the Giratinas. Removing the Jolteon, they can't go Guzma attack KO for the win. So at most they can take 2 prizes this turn. I only need to attack once, and I have the grass energy. So they'll be fine, hopefully. They go Guzma, bring up the TSAREENA to try to stall. I have the other Floatstone as well, so... No! Oh my god. Please no. Jeez. What a game. What a game. This was very close. Mostly because of my automatic pilot promotion of the Jolteon. Right? If I had not done that, it would have been a much easier game, and I would have been able to win in that previous turn. Both the Computer Search and the Jolteon VMAX being in the bottom 3 cards of my deck was very under odds, right? But it can happen. It did happen. Somehow we were able to pull through still. So yeah, this deck, it's fun to use, right? Sudowoodo stopped it in his tracks. It seems like in the tournament that it won, barely no one was playing Sudowoodo other than TSAREENA decks for the mirror. So I feel like this is a big enough threat to where you want to play Sudowoodo on your decks, or like, for example, the Shadow Rider Calyrex deck from that tournament was the one I featured. It didn't play Alolan Mach, which also stops Arena. Like most Pokemon are reliant on their abilities, right, and their basic, nor Sudowoodo. So you want to play at least one of those, I feel. Yeah, not playing one of those is very greedy, and then they ended up playing Espion VMAX, which I'm not sure what the big purpose for that was, or if it was for something specific. But anyways, thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. I had fun figuring this one out, making mistakes, compensating for them, trying to plan, and then these gut-wrenching and late game plays where we needed to top deck, right? So I got unlucky in not finding Jolt and VMAX or the computer search in those after the Dedenne. I put myself in that situation because of a mistake of mine, and then at the end here, I had 6 cards, only one helped me, which was the grass, and somehow I was able to find it. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.